Thank you. Thanks for joining us today. This is going to be really exciting. So I should do a quick intro. I am John Potter. I run the Application Developers Alliance. The Application Developers Alliance is a new organization we formed in January. We have 6,000 developer members already, 60 or 70 companies, and we're always happy to talk to new members, new corporate sponsors. But today is going to be really exciting because over the last few months, we reached out across America to college students and asked them to create new ideas for new apps. And then we took the best and the brightest and we brought them to Boston. And we brought them to Boston because we wanted to let them live here. They lived here on the show floor for 48 hours. And after that, they get to come out and present their apps to you. They get to present their apps to our 4 judges. And one of them is going to walk away with $10,000. One of the teams today is going to walk away with $10,000. So they're really excited to be here. I hope you're excited to see what they are going to produce and what they have produced and what they're going to present. What else can I tell you? The competition was open to everybody. The students were allowed to pick their idea to develop it on any platform of their choice. And all the work has been done in the last 48 hours. And that's interesting. As you'll hear from them, very few people have been to hackathons, people have done hackathons. It's very unusual to say you have 48 hours, you can choose to sleep if you want. You can choose to shower if you want. Or you can, there are pillows out there if nobody noticed. There are pillows, there's no sleeping bags, but there are pillows. So they're going to look good, they might not look great, but their work is really great. These are talented kids, and when it's done, you should all give them your business cards and then you should hire them because they are really, really talented. We have 4 judges today. Our judges are sitting right out here in the audience with you, and our judges are Mr. Mark Hess from Comcast. Mark is Senior Vice President of Advanced Business and Technology Development, and thank you, Mark. We have Rebecca Russ-Glim, another cable industry expert from Turner Broadcasting. Rebecca is the Vice President for Interactive Experience, Audience, and Multi-Platform Technologies. Thank you, Rebecca. We have Jim Lucchese, who is a CEO here in Boston of a company called the Echo Nest. Jim does a lot of work in music and music data, a great platform, and a member of my board, so I can talk about Jim forever. Thank you, Jim, for joining us. And Matt Powers, who's the Chief Technology Officer of Applico. Applico is a great development shop. And Matt, thanks for coming up to Boston to do this with us. Applico, I think, is also an Alliance member, so we're really pleased to have Matt also. We're going to roll quickly into our first presentation. And I want to welcome to the stage Team Rutgers. Rutgers University in New Jersey. Let's roll these guys out. Here we go. Our format is very simple. Each team will have 5 minutes to present. When they're done presenting, our 4 judges will have 2 minutes to ask them questions. After that, we're going to roll through to the next team. So, Team Rutgers, the stage is yours.
Hello, everybody. We're Team Rutgers, and we are here to present to you Teeve. Teeve is a cross-platform social media app for television. I'll start off by saying that you log in through Facebook, or you can register with a Teeve account. Once you've logged in, you can then input your zip code and select your provider, and then we supply you with a list of chat rooms. The chat rooms that show up on top are shows that are currently on television, and we got that information from the Rovi API. We're going to start off by going in Big Bang Theory chat room. And this is running both on iOS and Android right now. While the shows are currently running, we are asking questions to the users in the chat rooms, and the first person to answer the question is then awarded points, which is then put towards leaderboards. The only way to get points is to answer the questions, and that encourages them to be in the chat room during the time that the show is on TV. We decided to take it one step farther, and we implemented a face chat that you could start with someone else that is currently in the room. Is that going? Okay. And right now that's loading right now, and then you can see, you can see it's going between the two devices. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is probably the more important part of this app. While people are talking in the chat room, we take every message that is sent into the room and send it through the, what's the API? MetaLayer API, which then interprets the phrase that they sent and assigns it a value. This value tells us how positive the comment was. Now, after we receive that data back, we then add that to the database along with their age, their gender, the time it was submitted, and the location it came from, which is all supplied from Facebook or when they create an account. This data can then be used to, it can be aggregated and used to determine who is watching what and what they think about what's on TV. You can see what age groups are watching what, how often they're posting about it, and you can get averages and totals and any information that you could possibly want out of our database. This can then be used to help target marketing towards the people that are watching particular shows, and it also helps you can then, like right here, I'll show you an example. No, go back down to the bottom. On the bottom, we are comparing genders. This is based on Big Bang Theory, and this is crunched live with data that we've loaded into our server. And it's actually showing you over the course of time, male and female, who's commenting more on the Big Bang Theory. If you go up, you can also, no, all the way up. Search it with nothing in it. You can also see information like the top shows based on their rating out of everybody, their total comments, their...
Talk about how we plan to do questions.
We're also planning on implementing a question system where users can upload questions and people can upvote or downvote it, and then it's added into a pool, which we'll pull from later. We didn't get to finish that. We ran out of time, but...
Well, that's all right, because we're out of time here also. So thank you. This was... This is terrific. If you guys will come over this way, we'll put you at the center stage for questions from the judges. It's great to see the talent at Rutgers University, and great to see you guys leveraging off TV. I know we have a little TV activity here. So judges, questions for the Rutgers team?
So can you describe the user value for this? What's the number one thing that the user would get out of this?
The number one thing the user would get...
Go ahead, you're live.
Okay. The number one thing the user would get out of this is a chance to talk with their peers who are interested in the same television show or are also watching the same show that you're currently watching.
And they get points.
And they get points to compete against one another and put themselves on the leaderboard, which encourages them to come back and keep participating.
Other questions from the judges?
The data you gathered, did you plan to share that with the consumers so they could kind of know what's in high level, what's the most popular, what's being said about the shows, or was that just for commercial use?
It's meant to be with everybody. We didn't get to show it yet. We didn't finish the profile section of it yet. But essentially, you will be able to view your profile, and you'll get different kinds of charts similar to what you saw.
and it'll also be used for the cable companies, whoever else wants to use it to determine.
Now don't give it away. Other questions from the judges?
I just missed the, what was the technology stack you were using for determining whether it was positive feedback or negative feedback?
It's a MetaLayer API. MetaLayer takes in a phrase and it spits back a number between -5 and 5, and they have an algorithm that tells you how positive it is. 0 being neutral, 5 being the absolute best, where they're praising it beyond belief, and -5, they hate it.
Okay, that answers my question. That's fine. Thank you.
Great. Well, thanks very much. Team Rutgers, super job. Thank you. Let me take that mic. And, actually, I guess we're going to go up next on this stage with the team from Wellesley. So, Wellesley College, come on up. Here, take that back and give it to your producer. You're going to, are you up? You want your computer?
We're going to do in the middle.
You are?
Yeah.
It's going to work?
PowerPoint.
Okay. Whatever you want, whatever works for you, go for it.
Yeah, it's right. Okay. So hi everyone, we're Team Wellesley, and my name is Christian, and this is Emily and Veronica and Stephanie. We're all computer science related majors, undergraduates at Wellesley College, and we're here to present to you our mobile application called Workout Buddy. It's a social media related sports and fitness app to encourage users to live a healthier lifestyle. And I have Veronica here, who's going to introduce to you our design process.
Okay. Whoa. Go back. Okay. Great. So before we came to the competition, as we were designing our application, we conducted a survey. We sent it out to over 130 people, and they were all young adults. So we asked questions such as, what would make working out more enjoyable, and what would you like to get out of a working out application? And we found that a lot of people really like to listen to music, TV. They wanted messaging system and recommendations, and this enabled us to determine what our main functionality would be. And then, sorry. Okay, and then we also asked about working out as a social activity and if they would download it, and we got very positive feedback from that, which confirmed our initial ideas about creating a social app for working out.
And so the functionalities that we ended up creating were a messaging system where you're able to invite users to join you in a working activity. And then from there, we also have a news feed where you can receive food and sport recommendations. And another, I think the last one, is a friends list. So it syncs with your mobile contacts and whatnot. So the next one is our initial, to continue the user-oriented design principles that we follow, we decided to make prototypes to determine the look and feel of our mobile app. And here are rough sketches that we created. The next one, so the development platform that we finally used to create our app was the Xcode environment, where we use Objective-C as the programming language, and it's native to the iOS environment. And from there, we decided to use the parse.com backend database to store the information from our mobile app. And we got a really nice tip from someone to code this within 24 hours because we had a lot of time to work on that. So here is the demo of our app.
All right, so luckily for you guys will be able to see a real-world application of our application, as I guess throughout the whole hackathon, we've been eating a lot of food as people keep on coming by being like, do you want chips? And we also made like Chinatown runs and ordered boba with the other teams. So I'm just gonna log in and use our application and try to find a workout that I would wanna do. So I'm gonna just log in.
So as you can see, she's logging in with her Twitter account, and we also enabled users to log in with a Facebook account, or also to make their a Workout Buddy account with the username and password. And by doing this, we are making the the login process more efficient, and also really emphasizing the social aspect of our app, and really pushing the fact that working out can be a social activity.
So when we first log in, we see our feed, which is basically where you can see people can post things that have to do with like TV shows that will be fun to watch while working out, like playlists that would be really good and encouraging to, I guess, run to, or just like food that you can eat after working out. We can filter it out and display things by what you want to see, and you can just create new posts. But what I want to do is I want to find a workout that I can do after this demo. So what's jump rope? Nope, that looks boring. So I'm just going to go see here. This seems kind of interesting, so I'm going to check it out. Yeah, that seems pretty cool. So I'm just going to go send an invitation over to, who created it? Oh, Stephanie. So I think I know her. And I'm going to create your YouTube thing. And when do I want to do this? After the demo. Where do I? Over there at the Imagine Park. And I'm going to invite Stephanie. And the details I want to get fit. Whoa. And so it tells me I sent an invite to Stephanie Lee. Awesome.
So I think we're about out of time. So we're going to, now maybe the judges will concede some of their question time, but why don't we jump in with the judges and go to questions. I know what workout I would want to do after staying up for 48 hours and hacking, but.
I guess, is there the ability in your application to actually, I know I have certain people that I just wouldn't want to work out with. So is there the ability to, kind of hide yourself or block people from the application?
That would be the anti-social app.
Yeah, it would be, but.
So we kind of ran out of time to show you guys, but we have a settings page where you can control the privacy of like various different things. Who can see your profile? You can set it to only yourself, your friends, or everyone who's on the Workout Buddy system. And we have like a few other settings alerts, such as
like who you decide to sync your contacts with, and what social media platforms you decide.
As well as like notifications for when people respond to your invitation or when you receive an invitation.
And was that using native push notifications?
Yeah, we're just using the native UI alert thing to create the notification.
And if you could speak to your thoughts around the commercial potential, revenue opportunities around the app.
Well, I feel that this is a very deployable app because of the fact that there's not that many apps out there that encourage working out, like as we're all college students or we're all young professionals or whatnot, we're too busy to work out, and having this social media platform to like have your friends like invite you to come work out, like look at the news feed and like, oh wow, that's so interesting, let me invite my friend, because like it's more different from regular social media because it's very specific to sports and working out.
Like we understand that there are currently many different applications such as MyFitnessPal and MapMyRun, but the different thing about our application, Workout Buddy, is that it targets the social atmosphere or the social aspect of working out. And
I guess it's also like you can find interesting new things that you never knew before that happens with social media, like YouTube videos or things to watch or like music to listen to while you work out. So it like helps you encourage like a continuous thing, and you would do it on like a normal basis rather than once in a while.
Great. I think that's it. We're out of time. Thank you very much, Team Wellesley. Just take your mic. Yep. Take it away. Thank you very much. So next, we have another local team. We have Team MIT. You set? Server up. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Drew Harry. I'm here with my partner, Mark Faingersh from MIT. And we've been working super hard the past few days. And we're here to show you a peek at our vision for what the future of social television might look like around live sporting events. So the application we built is called Roar, and what we're really interested in is how we can recreate the experience of being in a stadium with other people. We think that's a really magical experience, and when we're doing the design, we reflected back on our personal experiences in stadium. And it seemed to us that there were two main components. So the first is that when we show up in a stadium, you go with friends, right? And your friends form the foundation of the experience. So your friends are who you talk to, they're who you make predictions with about what's going to happen in the game, and they're who you cheer with. But we go to stadiums not just to be with our friends, but also to be part of the whole crowd. That's a really visceral human experience. And so our app is really designed to try and create both of these at the same time. Make it easy to sort of be with your friends and have a nice intimate experience with them, while also have some sense of the crowd as a whole. So let's jump into a live demo. Can we switch to the iPad? Perfect. Okay. So the first step is that we got to figure out what you're watching. So we can listen to the microphone a little bit, pass the data to something like the Civolution API, and then we'll know what's on our television. When we jump in, the next step is to figure out who we want to watch with. So the audience in Roar is split up into a series of sections. Each section has maybe 5 to 10 people in it. And you can think of sections a little bit like booths at a bar. So you come in, you sort of want to look around, figure out where your friends are sitting, and figure out which table you want to sit at. So we'll log in with Facebook. I can see on the MIT that I've got a couple of friend icons there, so I'll jump into MIT. Okay. When I'm in a section, there are a couple of different ways I can interact with my friends. So the simplest is I can do text chat. I can send messages. That's pretty familiar. The next thing is I can make signs. So when we looked at audiences in stadiums, people come in with signs, right? So we wanted to use the tablet as an interface to generate new fan signs. So I can hit the sign button. I can draw something really simple. We'll just say Red Sox. And the tablet is a really natural interface for doing this. It seemed like a great fit to us. So I hit submit, and it'll pop up in the chat list. So that's a way for me to sort of share graphically how I'm feeling with my friends. The last thing you can do with friends is producers can push polls. So the producer can ask a question of the audience and say, well, the Red Sox managed to score this inning. So you can see the icons there appearing on the left, on the top. Those are my friends saying, yep, I think so, and I think not. So I'll say no, and it puts my icon on that top row. On the bottom, it's aggregating the responses from the entire audience, the whole crowd of people who are watching with this app open. So we can sort of compare like what our friends think, and it sort of catalyzes the conversation with what the crowd as a whole thinks. On the right side, we have what we call the pulse. This visualizes the whole audience. This is the part of sort of feeling what the crowd is interested in. So Roar is analyzing all of the activity across everybody who's chatting, sending signs. So these words are like moment-by-moment trending topics. There's individual comments here that people wrote, and it shares signs that people made, like that home run sign. And we can press and hold on any of these, and we can vote for them. And that tells the Roar system that this is really good content. You should spread this to more people. OK, can we switch back to the screen? Awesome. OK, so we think this is a start. It's really important to be able to create a nice experience at home with the app. But we're also really interested in closing that feedback loop in the stadium itself. So when you have this online crowd, it's generating signs, right? So people are sort of sketching signs out at home. And we think it would be just an incredible feeling to be at home, sketch out some sign, you send it to your friends, they vote for it, some other people vote for it, and sort of the ball gets rolling. And eventually a producer can see, oh, this is a sign that's really exciting, everybody likes it, let's push it straight to the Jumbotron. And we think that's a really great experience that ties the loop together. It makes it feel like the whole crowd is in the same space, they're participating, and the stuff you're doing online really impacts the live experience in the stadium. Now, you may think it's a little bit audacious to say we need a new social platform. Social TV is kind of cliche, right? We've got lots of ways to interact. But we think there's actually a participation problem when it comes to Twitter and television. So we just want to look briefly at some data about how much people actually tweet. So this data is from Bluefin Labs, a startup in Cambridge. And they report how many messages you send on Twitter about a show if you send any messages at all. So you send at least one, how many more do you send?
And that number, this is just one day's data, but this is pretty typical. It goes from like 1 to 3. And that's not really a conversation. That's not that interactive. That's just saying, hey, I'm watching this thing. So we think that the real secret sauce for Roar is trying to create these small, intimate situations where it's you and a couple of friends, you have a couple of different ways to interact, and it's really easy to talk a lot more than just one or two things. That's not what it's like to watch a show with a friend. And we think when you can create these situations, it means that people are going to watch longer, and they're going to be much more engaged with your content. And we think that's a big win for everybody. Thanks a lot. I'll clear that.
Why don't you guys come to the center platform, and the judges can have at it.
So can you just walk through again, what were all the different kinds of feeds that you were pulling into that?
So right now, it's all content coming from the app. So there's 3 categories of things. There's top messages. So you can think of this like the drunk guy behind you shouting something mean at the other team. If people vote that up, then it'll show up in that mainstream. It decomposes the message to pull out single words. Those are sort of like trending topics on Twitter, except much higher frequency. And then the signs that people drew on their iPads and shared. You can imagine pulling in other kinds of feeds too. You could pull from Twitter, you could pull from hashtags, you could pull from professional feeds generated by commentators. All that would make sense in that right column.
And then the ACR part you talked about with Sevolution.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that just a little more.
So it's a little speculative, right? So we were doing a web application. So the Sevolution API right now is iOS. We don't have any way to get at the microphone from the web. So conceptually, that's where it would be. But for prototyping purposes, we kind of just glossed over it. But you'd need to know what you're watching. So something like Sevolution would make a lot of sense for that stage.
Any monetization plans?
Yeah, so I think the strategy here is to sell this to the broadcasters. This is not something that would be an app you'd download. So I think the plan would be you'd sell this to someone like ESPN and you'd say, okay, we can build you a really richly integrated social experience that's branded your way and people go to your app, but it's the thing that they pull up when it's live. And for them, they get longer viewer hours. You can make it easy to invite friends to come watch with you and much deeper engagement. And we think all of those are really important. You also generate a lot of extra data. So if you want to know sort of effective ratings, what people are thinking, how people are responding to ads, you could also even have premium sections. So if you wanted to have a section that's your friends plus a famous commentator, you could create those kinds of small-scale situations that I'm pretty sure we could get people to pay for.
Great. Well, thanks very much, Team MIT. That was super. We're going to roll quickly through our last 2. And the next group is from Pace University in New York City. So Team Pace, come on up.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nikhil, and I'm here with Digdarshan and Mani. We're from Pace University, downtown New York. We're going to share with you a small demonstration of a carpool club app that we've been developing in the last 48 hours right here at Imagine Park. The app will allow users to search for rides online and actually contact people who are offering the rides, and we hope to make it a more social and engaging experience for people who want to carpool. Let me go ahead and launch the app over here. I'm just going to log in as myself right now. So the home screen presents you with 3 options. You can go ahead and search for rides which you might want to join. You can, if you're driving somewhere and you want company and you want to share the costs, you can go ahead and offer a ride right here. And the last one is to retrieve any lists that you might have of rides that you're going to take or rides you've offered. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and offer a ride, say from Albany to White Plains. I'm going to set it with today's date and the time right now. And what we've done over here is we've also included a little cost estimator. So you can go ahead and select your start and your destination. And it's going to pull the approximate distance from Google. And it's going to give you an approximation of if your car gives you 20 miles per gallon and the cost of gas is that much, which it isn't right now. It's going to give you an estimate over the cost per person. And you can go ahead and use it, or you can fill in your own values right there. just going to add a quick comment over here to identify the post, and I'm going to save that. And now Digdarshan over here is going to log in from a tablet, and this has all been done in Android right now, but we can port it to other devices later on. And he's going to go ahead and search for the ride which I just posted. Give us a moment here. All right. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and sign out from here and sign back in as another user. All right, and I'm going to search for what I just posted as myself, which is from Albany to White Plains. So there's the one which I just posted. I can go ahead and I can pull up more information from here. The comment which I just posted. I can see who's driving, and I can go ahead, if I like what I see, I can go ahead and contact the driver, maybe send him an email, maybe call him, whatever way I want. So I'm going to just save this. Let's say I've gone ahead, contacted the driver, and we've worked it out. I'll save that. And I can go to my trips, and I have it saved over here. Now what we want to do over here is we're going to tie in with the Rovi API, so that if you're not familiar with it, it allows you to pull up recommendations based on different artists. So if we have, say, Coldplay over here, you can get recommendations for similar artists or similar songs. And this is going to be a future extension, is we're going to have each user have a profile where he saves his favorite artists. So everyone that's on the same ride can get a recommendation of what songs would actually suit everyone who's in the same car. So that we feel would make it something more interesting. And that's the basis of our application.
Thank you, Team Pace. Why don't you go to the center, and we will turn it over to our judges.
What are your thoughts on monetizing the app?
That's a nice question. So we thought we could start off maybe with a trial period, a month free, and then maybe charge a subscription, a small amount monthly. Another idea we have is, if we have a driver who's offering a ride for a certain cost per head, we could tie in with the PayPal API and have people who sign up for the ride pay online, and maybe we can take a small percentage of that to get some profit from there. Another plan is, which we're actually going to do, is we're going to tie in points to each user profile. So we want to check if I've actually completed that ride with him, we'll assign points to the users based on how far they've traveled together. And if we get sponsorship, we can actually go ahead and convert those points to things like gift cards and things like that. So make the experience more engaging for everyone.
Thanks.
So when you went about creating it, what was the number one thing you were trying to solve?
As students, we don't have cars. And this is the big thing for us because, could be grocery shopping, could be anything. Finding people you want to go around with, like for me, it was really hard. So it's something which was always on our mind, which we thought would be really useful, not only for us, but then tie it in with the whole concept of energy conservation, which isn't something alien as I've seen over here at the cable show. Just yesterday, there were people talking about new set-top boxes with deep sleep modes that translate to higher energy saving. And today there was someone, I think from Motorola, was talking about some technology that could help you reduce your energy consumption at home. So I think it ties in well with everything.
Great. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was super. So we've got one more team, the team that traveled the farthest to be here. and that's Stanford University. So Team Stanford, if you will come to the stage.
So, hello everyone. My name is Yanis, and along with my partner TY, we'll show you two applications on how users and operators can coordinate in order to get the most out of their networks. So, looking at these, so over the last 2 days, there is a main theme where we have multiple applications, and then we want to access these applications through multiple devices, and we want to do this from multiple locations. And in order to be able to do this, we need a network in the between, which should behave properly. And when this is not the case, well, when this is not the case, you can't do much rather than waiting and complaining about it. I'm sure most of you have experienced something like that before, and we'll show you a little bit later in our demo a similar scenario. But before I go to our demo, let me briefly describe our setup, which will set the ground for the rest of the talk. So we've set up a small network back there, which consists of two main components. On the left side, you can see the home network, which consists of an access point, a couple of laptops, a phone, and a TV. And then on the right side, you can see our small representation of an ISP network. So there are several switches here, and I just want to make clear that all the equipment here is commodity equipment, and you can just buy it out from the market. Just keep this setup in mind. It will prove useful a bit later for the demo. So let's switch into the demo right now. Think of the following. You've just started watching a movie. In that particular case, it's Star Trek from Netflix. And all of a sudden, something like this happened. You don't know exactly what the problem is. It might be something in your home network. It might be something in your ISP network that causes congestion. You don't really know, and you don't really care. The only thing that matters is that you don't see the video that you want to see. So wouldn't it be great if you could just have a button, and when we press this button, it goes away and fixes the problem whenever this happens to be. And this is exactly what our application does. We call it MyBoost, and it's a single button browser extension, and you can think of it as follows. When you press the button, it calls your ISP and somebody who knows how your home network looks like, and it tells them, hey, I'm just trying to watch Star Trek at Netflix, and my network sucks. Can you please fix it? And this is exactly what our application does with a small difference. It doesn't make any actual call. It just goes ahead and fixes the network so that we can get our video back. And so let's see whether this works right now. As you can see, there is a button just right next to the address bar. And when we click it, we will just make what I described before. So why do you want to try and give a boost to Star Trek? So let's see. Just wait a few seconds. So this is a live demo. Hopefully it will work. And it typically takes a couple of seconds for Netflix to resume. And here it is. So just a few seconds after pressing the MyBoost button, we were able to go and fix the network to behave properly. So what we've done is MyBoost detected the exact network traffic that corresponds to this particular video stream for Star Trek, and then it went and reprogrammed our network to make sure that there is enough bandwidth both into the ISP side and in our home network to make the flow come out smoothly. Now, MyBoost is just an example of an application of how the users can interact with a network. Just want to make clear this is not Netflix specific. It works with Hulu, it works with Vudu, and we can actually make it work with any type of video, any type of content. This is a way where users can dynamically ask for more bandwidth. Now, there are some other applications where this might not be the right interface. Imagine, for example, that you have an energy management system or even your home phone service. And what you want from your network for this type of applications is a reliable low latency channel to make sure that there is no interruption into your network. And for that end, we developed another application called MyHome, which is a web application. And here is how it looks like. At the top, you can see that MyHome detected the network topology in our home. You can see the blue line is the boosted Star Trek flow that we had before. And now what we want to say is we want to select which applications are useful for us and go and give them the network properties that we want. So let's go and select VoIP and say that we want a low latency traffic. And then when we save the changes, you can see that we automatically create this special channel with low latency into our network, and now all the traffic from our phone goes through this channel. We have a phone using Skype over there, and you can see that it actually sends data through this channel. So to wrap up, I just want to say that this is not about a specific interface, not about a specific service. It's about users and giving the users the control to express their preferences about applications and how they want the network to treat them.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Why don't you take to the center podium?
Yeah.
We will turn to our judges. I don't know why cable companies would be interested in network latency and, you know, getting the content out. At least not from Netflix, right, guys?
So let's speak. We've asked everybody about this. What's the monetization plan for this application?
Yes, so we are currently stuck into this situation where the ISPs can provide only a best effort traffic, and then it's not clear how you can go and give some added value services to the users. And this is partly, I don't think it's highly technical, it's mostly political. And what this shows is that as long as you give the user the control on how he decides what is valuable for him, then you can sort of provide all the services as long as you give the user the control to say what is useful for him and what not. Also, this gives you an easy way to say that you can share your infrastructure with other companies, like utility companies, where they would like to sort of get some smart metering data and something like this out of their network. But as long as you can give the users the control to select which services they want, then I think there are ways to make money out of it by exploiting your infrastructure better.
Another question from the judges? I think they got it. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you.
So now our judges are scoring. All these apps are being scored on the following values: originality, functionality, design, market potential, and presentation skills. So the judges are going to go back in the room. They're going to probably get out an Excel spreadsheet, which is like an app. They're going to do some heavy-duty number crunching, probably focusing on network latency and things like that. And then they're going to come out. And I have been told that I have 5 minutes. 5 minutes to do my Ryan Seacrest thing, 5 minutes to talk about the Application Developers Alliance, 5 minutes to talk about our kids. And so I should chat for, first of all, I want to thank our students, right? Our students, one of the great things about this contest was, if we'd have thought about it 3 months ago when we were starting, we would have said, oh, we should just go to Caltech, or we should just go to MIT, or we should just go to Stanford, and you know, that's where all these engineering kids are. That's where all this software development is. And today we had folks from Rutgers and Pace and Wellesley, and you know, to those of us who are not in the space, it was really exciting to have folks who are branding their schools by being here and really enlightening those of us who aren't living this day to day about the talent that's in what I would consider sort of a non-traditional engineering school, right? Wellesley, you might think of political science or English or literature, or you know, you don't think about software development. It's great that the ladies from Wellesley are here today showing off the skills that they've learned, and the folks from Rutgers and Pace, and for opening our eyes. So thank you in particular for doing that for us. I should talk 2 minutes about the Application Developers Alliance. We literally formed in January. As I said earlier, we are up to 6,000 individual developers in our membership, and we're rapidly growing every day, every week. We had an event in New York last week. We had an event here in Boston last night. This hackathon is something that we're doing in concert with other organizations and other partnerships. So if you can think of another venue or another association that we should be partnering with, let us know. As I said earlier, we have the individual members, but we also have a lot of corporate members. So we have platforms like Google and RIM that are member companies. There are app developers who are publishing for themselves. CBS is a member. CBS Interactive is a member. And you can go to our website, which is appdevelopersalliance.org. That's right, .org. And find all of our corporate members. We have a great board. We have individual members who are prominent software developers. we have corporate members, we have development shops that are members of our board, and we're really excited to be here. And now I got to figure out what I'm going to do for 2 more minutes. As they said to me in the back room, I have to tap dance until they come out with that envelope. I should tell you, by the way, there are 3 prizes today, so 3 of these teams will get to go home and upgrade to first class on their flights if they flew in. And for everybody here, though, I think this has been a great experience, and it might be that the endorphins kicked in last night at about 2 a.m., but when I came at 8:30 this morning, they were still smiling. I don't know what it was like at midnight. I don't know how much Chinese food they sent out for, right? I don't know if the 7-Eleven around the corner got a lot of business, right? The 24-hour Dunkin' Donuts, but they were still smiling, and that's terrific. So I think they have learned a lot by being here. They have never, I don't think any of them has ever hacked for 48 hours in a row. Some of them look like they've been hacking for 48 hours, and some of them actually don't, which is even more impressive perhaps than their software skills. Let's see, what else can we talk about? This is, we're still 1 minute and 42 seconds. The next hackathon, right? Are we going to do this next year? Should we do this next year? This is good, right? Obviously, for the students, we hope you'll go back to your schools and talk about it. Every one of these students will find that their university PR department has photographs and links landing in their inboxes. We can prove to mom and dad that this wasn't just a fun trip to Boston, that you guys actually were working, and we have we were taking webcam shots of the hackathon. So if mom and dad were watching like in the middle of the night to see if you were really working, that'll be a good thing. I remember the time when I told mom and dad I was going on a school trip and it really wasn't a school trip. But I only have a minute, so I can't tell that whole story, so I won't. But we are, was it a good show? For the cable folks, was this a good show? That's good to hear. Boston's a good city. Boston in May, this is a great time, right? It was a little cloudy yesterday. We're going to talk about the weather for 35 more seconds. And nope, still no envelope. Still no envelope. What can we oh, it was interesting, actually, when I was watching these presentations. So a couple of folks were asked by the judges, what are your monetization plans? And people started talking about data and sharing, and I started thinking about privacy and Washington and lawyers, right? Nobody brought their lawyer with them, right, kids, right? You didn't bring your lawyer with you when you came here. So when they talk about, all that data that was going back and forth and all your social workout, right, who's getting shared? Are you going to share that with, remember Jack LaLanne, right? Washington Sport and Health. Geritol would be a great advertiser for that workout video, right? Advil, right? Great advertiser for that workout video. But the workout app, right? The sports one, you can think of a lot of great advertisers on that sports app. The beer companies might want to be there, right? But who actually was that commenting? There were some pretty racy comments going up there, I thought. At least as a Yankees fan, I thought. So there's some good monetization schemes. And so maybe next year what we'll do is we'll really focus on the law and policy side, and we'll bring back more of those network latency apps, and we'll tell people to bring their lawyers. And then we can have a member of Congress up here talking about, interesting problems with that app. We could have a field hearing with app developers and talking about, the marriage of policy and politics and the cable industry and Netflix and app developers. Must be really complicated scoring going on back there. Originally they were going to leave the judges out here and someone was going to score, but then they said, oh my goodness, what if there's a tie? So maybe they're figuring out a tie. Or maybe they're figuring out handwriting because, the judges had to write a number from 1 to 5 or 1 to 10. So they might be having a handwriting issue. I got to figure out something else to talk about. Does anybody know a good song? You want to talk about something? For those who came late, let me reiterate. This was a nationwide contest. We actually used a local Boston PR firm, Broder Communications. They were our partner in this. They put this out to colleges and universities across the country. I have no idea how these teams came about it, if a professor talked about it, if you read about it online, if we advertised it. But the kids we went through a whole lot of proposals, and these were the best. And so we brought them in. I should tell you that obviously our judges were volunteers, and then the folks at Rovi and Civolution came up and said, let these folks use our APIs. Let these kids have free access to our APIs to build their platform, to build their app. So here come our judges. Here comes the music. And does that mean I'm supposed to introduce Michael Powell? See, you have the envelope. He does, ladies and gentlemen. We will have Michael Powell, who is the president and CEO of the National Cable and Telecommunications Association, NCTA, the host of the cable show, who should be walking through here with an envelope in a moment, in 2 moments. Here he is, Michael Powell. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. First of all, John, thank you for all you did to put this together. It was really exciting. And I'm really proud to say the cable industry can now say Facebook's not the only one who knows how to host a hackathon. I just want to take a second to talk to the teams. We are so honored and proud to have you here on our floor. You brought new energy to our show. You demonstrated the creativity that's available in this industry. And I think you inspired all of us about a future that we're not going to build, you're going to build, and we only hope we can make it easy for you to do it. So thank you so much. Thank you for the 4 to 8 hours you spent. We're very proud of all of you. Now I have the infamous envelope. Now I do want to tell you, it was awful close all the way down the line. So I hate doing this. Can someone else do this? No. So here we go. Starting with 3rd place. The ladies from Wellesley.
From Wellesley.
Wellesley, I said.
From Wellesley.
Stand up and take a grab.
Wave to your fans.
In 2nd place, MIT.
And make sure you say the number.
And in 1st place, with a check for $10,000, Stanford University.
Why don't you guys come up? It was a very cable-specific app.
It was very cable-specific. Congratulations. Really well done.
Congratulations. Was it worth the trip?
Well done. Thank you.
You think so? Good. Well, Michael, thank you very much for coming out, for hosting us, for bringing these guys coffee. You know, they drank a lot of coffee. A lot of Red Bull, I think, was consumed in that booth. This was a great event. And to the team from Stanford, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And hopefully we'll do this again next year.
We'll do it again next year. Thank you all very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.